Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel and another episode of Miniatures Monday. And today we've got the new Gulf Racing Hot Wheels Premium. Now, there are 5 of these. I am missing the Volkswagen Golf Mark 7, the GTI, for a couple of reasons. One, the main one, store didn't have any. But it's not a big deal to me because I'm not a completionist collector anymore. I used to have to get all of the ones from whatever series I was collecting, and I just don't do that anymore. There's just way too many cars out there, and now I collect what I like, and that's it. So that brings me to like number 3, which is I'm not really a big Volkswagen guy, so it's not one that I wanted from this set anyway. Now, the ones I did want from this set, this was the number 1. It's a 69 Ford Mustang Boss 302 Trans Am car. And obviously I want this for my Trans Am collection. Now, this is not a real paint scheme from back in the day, but it very well could have been, and it just looks the business. So, had to pick that one up. In fact, let's go ahead and crack this thing open. And there's a lot of people out there going, no! I don't care. I open cars. Deal with it. I like them on display. I like to play with them. That's why we're called Play With Cars, not Look At Cars. Man. So these wheels are a super accurate representation of the mini lights, which is the wheels that most of the Trans Ams ran back in the day. Look, it's got the window bars back there. No filler in the back because that's how they ran. You can see the fuel cell, side exhausts, front splitter. I am really happy with the Hot Wheels Premium line stuff. They are so good. Look at the roll cage in there. See if I can catch the bars in the light. It even has an X bar on the top. That is such a cool casting. I mean, look at this. There's even, I mean, we talk about like dollar mainline Hot Wheels and like how you can dress them up with a little bit of Sharpie and stuff. These things are like, what, $4 or $5 each? So yeah, they're, you know, relatively a lot more. But, like, look at the detailing. Not only are the taillights painted, but you can see the chrome around the edge of the taillights. Like, how cool is that? And this paint scheme is just on the money. Look, you can see the Boss 302 written out perfectly clear. Nice glossy paint job. No errors, no register problems, no anything. This is the kind of car that's worth buying. I would rather have one of these in my case than 5 mainline cars anyway. That is super cool. Now, I was so happy to get that. I was like done. I was ready. I'm like, all right, like that's all I need. And then I was like, oh wait, what's this one with a different paint job? Ho ho, McLaren F1 GTR. And this is a riff on an actual Gulf paint scheme of the McLaren that ran 24-hour Le Mans series. Oh, look at that. Great detail on the headlights here. Of course, on a McLaren, the headlights are 3D. They're like sunk down in the body, and then there's a clear cover on them. And this is just, you know, one solid metal casting. So they really like did shadowing in there to make them look like sunken headlights. But then, like, the grills here are actually sunk in above the splitter. Really nice set of wheels. You can see McLaren underneath the F1 there. It's so clear. Again, nice taillights, great register on everything, crisp printing. I mean, look at this. They've got the side strake here, right? And the body is inset. And so they've got this tampo in there. And when you look at it straight on, it's a perfect square, even though it's got to go over all of these contours. And it's probably multiple tampo like pads going on that to make that. Stripe is perfectly centered. That's a nice one. I'm really glad I picked that up for my growing Le Mans collection. That's going to look great up in the display case. So again, thought I was kind of done. You guys do remember from last week on the display case video, I have a whole row of JDM cars. I'm a big Mazda guy, so of course I have the RX-3 and the RX-7 and stuff like that, and I kind of really like the vibe that they're going with a lot of these, and I do love a lot of the JDM cars, the 240Z and like the Hakosuka, how the hell do you say that? Hakosuka Skyline, you know, the original GTR. I love the Kinmeri GTR, and then, you know, having the Deco Toru truck and the you know, the crazy. I love the way they look, and I'm starting to collect more and more of them. And the highway haulers, we got 3 of them now. So when I saw that this was a Nissan Laurel 2000, which I've got a couple of. I think the Gretty car from a couple weeks ago was a Laurel. And the paint scheme on it was just cool. Like, it's got this offset stripe on the driver's side because it is a right-hand drive car. And if you look inside the base, the like, oh wow, it's like chrome inside. You see the reflection there in the windshield? But the base is painted orange metal. That's crazy. So they like actually put a mirrored surface in there on purpose to help brighten up that interior and show you all the cool stuff in there. I mean, look at the detailing on that Laurel emblem. And you can see the reverse lights and the turn signals inside the taillights. And then the stance. I mean, they just got the stance on the money. This is the proper JDM stance. The thing is just slammed to the ground. It's got flares, super deep dish wheels, very negative offset, tiny little tires. Yeah, look at the front end on that. We don't need to take a Sharpie to anything on this car. It is good to go as is. Yeah, so I had to add that one to the collection too. And that's how they get you, right? They're like, oh yeah, you just, you know, you got to collect them all. But yeah. So then I was ready to go. I was like, okay, I don't need the Volkswagen. I'm going to go. For some reason, I thought this was going to be a Volkswagen too, and then I realized it's not. It's a Fiat 500. And not just any Fiat 500, it's the old school one. You know, Luigi from Cars, he's a Fiat 500. But this is like the Abarth, which back in the day, they put this great big engine in it, and they couldn't shut the hatch, and so they ran with the hatch open, and it was kind of like a aerodynamic device without being like in the rules. And so it's just a really cool casting that they did it. It's got these huge flares on it, these deep dish wheels, and it's just the funniest looking little car. And I've never seen this casting before. So, I mean, the paint job's kind of cool. I don't know that Golf necessarily really goes with Italian cars or Fiats very well. But this casting was so cool, I had to pick it up. I'd love to find this in an old school white and red Abarth paint scheme. That would just be the business. But yeah, I had to add this one to the collection too. So, got a little. I mean, look at the size difference on that thing versus the Laurel. Right? Like, it's just crazy. It was so cool looking, I had to get it. So yeah, so we added the Fiat 500, the Nissan Laurel, the Boss Mustang, and the McLaren F1, all to the collection, out of the Golf collection. Again, missing the GTI, so there's that one out there too, and I'm sure the casting is just as nice, and the paint job and all that stuff. Again, my store just didn't have one. I'm not a completionist, and I'm not a Volkswagen guy, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But the wheels in particular look really awesome, at least printed here on the card. So, you know, this is probably a good set for you guys that do like to complete collections or the car culture series or any of that. Definitely try to pick these Golf ones up. They're just now hitting the stores. There was a bunch of my pegs, except for they were out of the Volkswagens, and they only had one Fiat left. I got the last Fiat, but man, these things are cool. So yeah, that's been Miniatures Monday. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to go put these in the case with all the others. So until next week.